Guys, how's it going? It's a beautiful day out today. It's cloudy, but it's still beautiful here. Um, it's more of an energy, I think, in the day. Um, like it's springtime, and I've been watching. Like I told you yesterday, I was watching the bees kind of buzz around the carpenter bees, and but there's also swans out there now, and there's also geese, and they have their babies running around out here in front of the pond in front of me every once in a while. It's really kind of fun to watch them. So it's just a really nice energy for this time of year. But today is lesson 5, and today's lesson is I'm never upset for the reason I think I'm upset. And to talk about this, first I want to bring up an example. I think it highlights it pretty well. And it's really the example I brought up yesterday about me being in the plane ride. And just to recap, I was in a plane ride. I was flying back from California. I was on a flight, and I like the window seat. I'd love to have the window seat because I love to look outside. And I didn't get the window seat in this case. Another person did. He was sitting there, and he was very difficult and challenging and rude and just kind of a real pill. He wouldn't allow me to look out the window, and we had this verbal altercation back and forth, and it got me really upset and angry at the time. And I talked about yesterday how one of the ways I worked through that is instead of pushing the feelings down and just kind of pushing out of my mind and saying, you know, just grinning and bearing it, that kind of thing. I use some techniques, relaxation techniques, and also reframing. So I reframed my thought patterns to what he might be thinking, and that helped me more understand him. And today, and actually the second thing I did, which was even more valuable, is I used this idea that I'm never upset for the reason I think. And I wasn't upset because of him closing the shade. I was upset because of all the stories and the stuff that had built up over my lifetime of well, I was bullied when I was a child. I was abused when I was a child, mentally, physically, emotionally. I was never in a great place, and all that stuff sticks with you. And if you're not aware of it, it comes up in any types of situation, get triggered. And if you're not aware of it, it just happens and you react. So if you're able to become aware and more in control of your feelings and your understanding them, then instead of just reacting to something, there's a little bit of time in between the feeling and what you choose to do about it instead of just reacting and saying something you probably didn't want to say and feeling badly about it later on. So with this case, yeah, I understood at that moment. I recalled that I'd been bullied, and so I was feeling pushed down. I was feeling bullied. I was feeling like this wasn't fair, and this is how I've always been treated, and it's not going to happen this time to me. And that's why I got so upset by this guy just closing the window on me, because otherwise it was just closing a window. So um, that's I think that's a really good example of for me, and maybe highlights how this works. And what we're doing essentially is if you take, I'm going to use a pencil again as an example because it's a great example. Because if you look at a pencil and you have a thought about it, it's an object. It's a pencil. I'm not emotionally attached to this pencil. I have no uh, triggers for this pencil. It doesn't make me feel anything. It's just an inanimate object for me. Now, if you take maybe a picture or an event in your life and you think about it, it's just an event, but um, we create a story about it, and that triggers our emotions about it, and that causes us upset if it's an emotional event. Um, and what we're able to do with these lessons over time is to systematically learn to observe that this is going on, and then I don't like to use the word detach, de-identify with the uh, the event or the person or the circumstance and de-identify with that, and basically take the emotion out of the event. So it's still with you. The event never it's not different, hasn't changed, but how you feel about it changes. And there's no more emotional attachment. And that is extremely powerful. That can change how you see everything around you. Um, so that's that. So what I'm going to do is just get right into the lesson, and I'll read it because it's important to listen to, and we'll see where we go. Okay, so this is lesson 5. I am never upset for the reason I think, and this idea, like the preceding one and those other lessons that we did. I'm gonna put my glasses on. I'm getting old. One can this idea, like the preceding one, can be used with any person, situation, or event you think is causing you a pain. Apply it specifically to whatever you believe is the cause of your upset, using the description of the feelings in whatever terms seems accurate to you at the time. The upset may be fear, worry, depression, anxiety, anger, hatred, jealousy. It can come in any number of forms, all of which will be perceived as different to you. This is not true. However, until you really learn that the form doesn't matter, then any form that you come up with, any of these feelings are okay to use in this example. Apply this idea to each of them separately is the first step in ultimately recognizing they're all the same. When using the idea for today, for a specific perceived cause of any upset in any form, use both the name of the form in which you see the upset and the cause which you ascribe to it. For example, I am not angry at Lydia for the reason I think. I am not afraid of heights for the reason I think. Whatever comes up to you. But again, this should not be substituted for practice periods in which you first search your mind for sources of upset in which you believe and the forms of upset which you think. So you want to practice this like 3 or 4 times a day, just as you're throughout your day, and as things come up, just be aware of what's causing you to be upset. Like maybe you're in a car ride and you're sitting in the car and you just say, okay, I'm sitting in this car and I'm in traffic and I'm feeling angry. But I'm feeling angry for the reason I don't think. I'm not feeling angry for the reason I think. And just kind of use that framework for all your different things that come up. So in these exercises, more than the preceding ones, you may find it hard to be indiscriminate about these. And to avoid giving greater weight to some subjects than others, it might be helpful to proceed the exercise with the statement, this is really good, there are no small upsets. They're all equal, disturbing to my peace of mind. So rage, anger is no different than, that doesn't feel so good. They're really the same thing. Treat them the same way is what they're saying. Then examine your mind for whatever is distressing you, regardless of how much or how little you think it is doing it. You may also find yourself less willing to apply today's ideas to some perceived sources of upset than others. If this occurs, think first of this. I cannot keep this form of upset and let the others go. For the purpose of these exercises, then I will regard all of them as the same. Again, the strength of the upset, the feeling is, it doesn't really matter in this exercise. We want to treat them the same, like anger or rage, just as like a little bit of discomfort. They're the same. Treat them the same. Then search your mind for no more than a minute or so and try to identify a number of different forms of upset that are disturbing you. Regardless of the relative importance you may give to them, apply the idea for today to each of them, using the name of both the source of the upset as you perceive it and the feeling as you experience it. Again, I am not worried about X for the reason I think. I am not depressed about X for the reason I think. 3 or 4 times a day is enough to do this. And building on what we did yesterday and the day before and the day before that, we're just using the same idea and just kind of applying it in a different way, more and more powerfully each time to reframe our awareness and reshape our awareness so that we can have a new awareness and have new beliefs and see things differently. So that's the lesson for today. And good luck with you guys. I hope it works out for you. I know it will because I've done this myself, and it's very powerful. And it's reshaped my life. Now, I've started to coach people again. I was on a hiatus for a while, but I'm back at it. So I'm taking on coaching clients, and I put my link below so that you can click on my calendar link and get into and talk to me about what might be making you upset, what's causing some disturbing feelings in your life. Because I am very skilled at taking all these concepts and doing quick processes to get you from a feeling of like anger, upset, depression, anxiety, to really eliminate them and feel this possibility, this excitement, allow you to move on to whatever you want to move on to. So click the link below and subscribe. And if you want to get in touch with me, click the link below and get on my calendar. All right. You guys have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.